Thank you so much.
Michael Simon, you're no stranger to fun and frisky content. In your movie Campus Life, we're dealing with college kids. Somebody vanishes, another one vanishes. We all have to figure out kind of who done it or who's going to remain and survive. This feels shockingly real for so many of us in so many ways.
Why has that happened? Have you disappeared before?
Often. But I'm now back.
So sometimes you feel that way. So it's about 5 college kids, and they start to realize that the campus they're on is not obviously quite what they seem to be, and then they start discovering that they themselves are not what they seem to be. And so it becomes a race to the finish to figure out who they are, where they are, before they actually all get eliminated. So that's the main premise, and it's exciting. It came out really well, I think. So.
Well, we've got so many people that are college students right now watching.
Oh, good.
Well, sure.
Okay.
And so they, in many ways, are going to relate to this.
Okay.
Because it's not like maybe when our grandparents went to college, if they did. It would have been, now you have to sit down and study Greek, and then at 3:07 you have to be in this classroom. It really is a different world today. A lot of it is kind of the self-serve pomp and the honor system, whatever honor means anymore today, right? And I think people don't feel really connected to anything. And I think your film, in a way, is a metaphor for this kind of amorphous life that we're all leading. At least I'm giving you credit for an incredible amount of depth.
That's really deep. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I should have you write do my PR for me or whatever.
I'm working on it with some other guys right now.
So I just want to add what makes Campus Life so unique is that we created it for the web application JumpView that my partner Ken Waddell and I created. And JumpView is, instead of just showing this movie, in a typical beginning, middle, end format, you watch it now by character. So we've taken the 5 main characters, we break them down, each of their storylines, by time. So you can watch Ari, for example, all the way through. You can watch Becca, etc., etc. But things happen in one storyline that you don't know unless you go to the other storyline to fill in the blanks. If you could watch it the whole way through with one character, you could, and you'll get the story, but you're not going to get the full story. You're not going to get the more in-depth and more exciting story. So that's what made this so exciting. It's kind of, I say it's akin to if you like Lost, and could you imagine watching Jack, Locke, Kate, Charlie, etc., just watch their stories. And if you wanted, you could then jump back and forth to the other people's stories too to fill in the blanks, but it would be your choice how you want to watch this movie. And so that's what we did. You can pick anywhere in time on any character you want, and you can just move all over the place and decide how you get to choose how you want to make the story.
Give us that app again and spell it out.
Okay, so it's JumpView, JumpVew.com, and you just go and you click on Campus Life, and it's free to watch.
That's my favorite price. Did you know that?
Yeah. It's almost as good as like a penny, but it's close. It's close.
Although the copper value of a penny today is 4 cents. So if you can find somebody who's got a smelter, you're very rich.
That's true. That's true. That's why they want to get rid of the pennies, right?
That's exactly right. And the gold. So while you're buying it, thinking that you're hedging your bets, remember 1934 when Congress confiscated all the gold from the American public. Wow. That's not something that we're taught today, but it's right there. Google it. It's actually true. Just because it's on Google doesn't mean it's true. Which is also a side effect of the sort of world in new media that we all live in. There's no big grown-up editor out there disciplining the internet. So you have to compete with somebody yelping and saying something. It may or may not be true. This is a new world, right?
That's true, yeah. And one of the reasons we wanted to do this, obviously, is because we looked at the internet and said, hey, nobody's really utilizing it to tell stories in a way that's truly different. In other words, like they're taking TV shows, movies, and which is fine, and using them as a second screen. But nobody's ever used the actual interactivity of it to create something completely new and different. And
you did it.
That's what we wanted to do.
That's
right. That was our goal. And we think we did a pretty good job. And we hope everybody goes and checks it out.
They will now.
They will now, and they're
And it's free.
And it's free, which
Well,
is, there's no reason not to go check it out. What do
We're
you have
glad to have you on our red carpet. And we won't even charge you for it.
That's great.
Since you gave us that free
Give
app.
it to you for free,
That's
right?
right.
Okay.
See, it's
Thank you
quid
very
pro
much.
quo here. It is the
That is.
barter system, and that's how we like to do it. I want to thank you, Michael Simon.
you.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for creating a cool project that we all get to interact with
Thank you.
and that we get to enjoy. And at the end of the day, it just does great things for the mind, and that's the part we love.
That's great.
All
Thank
right,
you
my
very much.
friend.
I appreciate
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you. Cary Harrison here with you. If you ever want to visit me just on your own time, you can come and listen to long-form podcasts. I am, of course, with public broadcasting, public radio. You can simply go to GoHarrison.com, one word, GoHarrison.com, and we're giving away a trip for two. And I've talked to Susan Johnston, and we love to give free stuff away. This is a trip for two to Zurich, Switzerland. I know you want to go. Don't, yeah, yep, okay. This is so fabulous. We're going to put you up in a hotel that's, let's say it's about $1,000 a night, roughly. They took some 1,300, these are houses from the 1300s. Somebody bought up a bunch of them, built tunnels underneath, which is where the kitchens are and everything else. And so this is going to be your hotel room. You fly on Swiss International Airlines. It's good for two people. All you have to do is go to ZurichGetaway.com, ZurichGetaway, ZurichGetaway.com. It's watch to win videos. I put 5 videos on there. Watch and win, put in the keyword. It's super simple. Everybody can do it. If you want a shortcut, go to GoHarrison.com, GoHarrison.com, and you'll see a little Zurich picture in the upper right corner. You can click on it, do the same thing. Our way of giving back to you because you are a new media user. And instead of the old analog way where you have to jump through a lot of hoops, we're giving you the shortcut, the fast cut, which is the way we like to do it too. We've got another friend popping up here on the Fred carpet, even though his name is not Fred, although some of your friends may call you that. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself so that we pronounce your name correctly. Because many times names get mispronounced and the happy and exalted guest standing here on a red carpet gets somehow deeply offended.
Thank you.
So help us with your name.
My name is Tito Dudley, and I'm also known as Chef T on my web series Simple Eats.
And obviously, we're talking about comestibles. We're talking about the culinary delights. We're talking about a gastronomic explosion so extraordinary that you, as an artist, turned it into a visual spectacle for us.
Absolutely. I'm trying to incorporate healthy food along with fitness and just showing people how to make it fun, but I'm also having definitely an epic moment while I'm making the healthy meals at the same time.
You know, yesterday I was talking to this woman about GMOs and recombinant bovine growth hormone in the milk and all these things that nobody knows what the hell we're talking about. But there's a lot of stuff also in the food that we do want to stay away from. And I think one of the things that you do is you help us understand not good, good. Really simple stuff, because at the end of the day, we don't know. We go to the grocery store. It's all good, aisles of it. But that's not really true, is it?
No, I think the main focus that I'm really trying to portray in this web series is really just showing people, you know, it's really not that hard to eat healthy food, because we have access to so many, especially now with the whole new media, we have access to so much information that's out there to educate us, to show us what's good and what's not. And with that, I'm taking all of that into this one web series and showing you how simple and easy it is to make one recipe that you can have either for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just right before you go to bed.
Like a huge plate of brownies right before you go to bed.
Maybe if it's maybe if you make the brownies out of walnuts, you add a little bit of cacao in that food processor, that would be your deal.
Let's do a public service here for a minute, and this could be really interesting to you. We've all heard of high fructose corn syrup, right? This is the stuff in breakfast cereal, although Post has finally pulled it out. It was in pancake syrup. It was in Coca-Cola. Still is in a lot of ways. And we hear, well, gee, maybe that stuff isn't so good. So for somebody who says, gee, maybe that stuff isn't so good, I'm sure you have a thought about that.
Well, the way I look at sugar as sugar, basically, whether it's healthy or not healthy. Ideally, you want to focus on the healthier sugars that's out there. If you're going to get your sugar from something that's more like plant-based, maybe agave, and sometimes that could be a little more controversial to certain people. But
because it comes from nature.
well, the whole idea is moderation. You want to have moderation in everything you do in life, especially when it comes to food. You want to watch your portions. If you don't watch your portions, then obviously if you're eating healthy foods and you're having large portions, you are still going to be able, you're still going to put on that weight. So you want to keep the portions down and just spread your meals throughout the day and make sure you get rest at the same time.
So eating and resting simultaneously, is it possible?
I don't know about simultaneously, but you want to make sure you eat and give yourself enough hours of sleep so that your body can recover, so that you can continue throughout the day.
So is it true that if you pull in a lot of calories, we'll just call it food, just whatever that is. If you pull in more calories of food than you do burn those calories, as if it were gasoline, and you were filling a car tank, and you kept filling it, but you weren't driving around a lot, so you weren't burning that gas tank keeps filling up until it overflows. So is it the same with food in the body? If you're not actually burning that fuel, the body gets bigger to hold more food until it gets so big that you become a wobble bottom.
That's definitely a great analogy. I love that analogy. I love the car analogy. I use that all the time with my clients. But yeah, if you're taking in more than what your output is, then you're definitely going to be gaining weight. So you want to make sure you're out there working out, moving that body around, whether it's walking up the block a couple of times or just standing up and down right at home, using that seat as like a little squat guider, just to sit down, stand up. Just creating movement in the body is what we all need, and that's an issue I think a lot of us are having nowadays. Is because of the technology, yes, it's great, but it's creating sort of this illusion amongst people that everything is at our hands and we don't need to move because we have access right at our hands to do whatever we need to do. But if we create that movement and still use the technology, we can actually produce a lot out of that.
We just found a great way to make people want to watch your videos. It's one thing to say, oh, it's wonderful, you must see it, oh, it's great, we loved making it, the usual stuff. Sure. And then instead, we actually ask you those probing questions where you actually have to talk about the very stuff that's in your videos. Sure. Now we know that you actually get it, that you're authentic, that you're the real deal. And if we watch your videos, we're going to actually get something out of it.
Absolutely.
So you just got a home run.
Thank you, Cary.
All right, my friend.
Absolutely a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Definitely.
Thank you for being here at the New Media Film Festival.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, my friend.
Great.
We'll see you down the road at the gym, in the car dealership, somewhere, I'm sure.